Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shafi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen at this time. So I'm just kind of pulling the cards to see what is the collective message for everybody. And I already have a couple of cards that came out just to see what the topic is tonight for the chosen. And so the first card I have coming out deals with wisdom. Okay, it deals with wisdom. So wisdom, this is the Hierophant card. This card is all about your spiritual wisdom, that spiritual guidance, and what you're being called to do in this lifetime on a spiritual level. This person here, as you can see, is holding a book in their hand. They have this dog next to them, and they're walking away from uh, an old structure. Okay, so this could be you being guided to take a different path at this time when it comes to your belief systems, and also embracing whatever spiritual wisdom you've gained and taking your path alone for a period of time. And also it deals with the dog next to this person, it deals with being loyal to your decision to move down this path. So with the number 5 up here, it's also showing me that there's major changes that's happening as a result of this wisdom that you have now gained on your spiritual journey. So there's a lot of enlightenment with the light coming from this book. It's a lot of enlightenment that you are gaining at this time, and you're ready to be loyal to that decision, even if it means leaving behind old belief systems or people who don't necessarily agree with the path that you're taking. So that's a common theme when it comes to taking the road less traveled, especially if you're being called to use this wisdom to teach others, or to help guide others, because it looks like with him being draped in this purple garment, um, he's been called to use his spiritual wisdom, his spiritual insight to help teach others. Okay. So I also have, it's okay to not have all the answers. They will come when you need them. So that's very important to know when you're taking this path. You're not going to have all of the answers right away. That's the exciting part about taking a spiritual journey, is that there's that sense of the unknown. And so there's infinite wisdom out here. You're always evolving, you're always learning and growing. So there is not a specific cookie cutter way of interpreting your spiritual journey. You're going to always gain new knowledge as you go along. There's going to always be a death and a rebirth and a transformation as you take your journey. And so then you have here, you will find your place in the world, even when you don't know how. So if you're confused about what this path means for you, or what your purpose is, you're going to find what your purpose is. Okay. That's why it says it's okay to not have all of the answers. They will come when you need them. So in divine timing, you're going to know exactly what you've been called to do, what you've been placed here to do. So I have here the source, then I have the dream and mind. So some of you may be very confused. You might be overthinking. You might be kind of exhausting yourself with what's next. What am I supposed to do next? And the thing is, what I'm seeing with these cards is that the source indicates that the answer is already within you. Okay. This card, it looks like a picture of a cell, or for me, it reminds me of like DNA, showing that whatever it is you're meant to do in this lifetime is already engraved in your DNA. This is why the answers will come to you when you need them, because there's no such thing as you not being able to do what you was like genetically created to do. Okay. It's just a matter of clearing your mind and releasing a lot of the energy that's standing in the way of you getting there. So with this card, mind, this person has a lot of chimneys coming from their head, a lot of dark smoke, thick, dark smoke coming from their head. And so that indicates overthinking, maybe having toxic thoughts, unhealthy patterns. This would indicate there's a need for a detoxification in order to get to the source. And the source would be that that seed that's been planted within you that you're supposed to eventually give birth to. So this is where right now you don't have all of the answers because you're not necessarily in a clear enough space in order to receive them. So you have to have a clear mind in order to receive that clarity on what it is you're supposed to be doing. So let me pull some more cards and see what's coming out here. So you have here, don't soothe your pain with momentary pleasures. Okay? Don't soothe your pain with momentary pleasures, which could indicate that there might be pleasure-seeking behavior patterns or something that you could be doing habitually that's not healthy. And because of this, that reminds me of this mind card with the chimneys coming out. It just shows that this energy is not conducive to being that direct channel or being able to have those divinely guided messages come through clearly. It's almost like a cell phone that has a really bad service because the area is too staticky, it's too much interference. So this is where you have to do a full detox, whether it's you needing to physically detox your body because you've been putting the wrong types of things in your body. Don't soothe your pain with momentary pleasures. Or it could be clearing your mind, or both. So you're wanting to put more focus and emphasis on cleaning up your temple in order to know exactly where this path is guiding you so that you can find your place in the world and to receive those direct answers. Because with the Hierophant coming out first, it just shows me that many of you are being guided to be teachers, some form of a healer, a leader. That's what the Hierophant does. They sit in a position of authority where others come to gain knowledge and wisdom from them. And so there's changes that has to happen in order for you to embrace that part of your journey. Then you have here, remember, many of the clouds casting shadows aren't real. So this is moving past the illusion of the matrix and starting to see that many of the clouds casting shadows aren't real. So those shadows, it's like they create this energy of darkness, right? There's an energy of darkness that ends up blocking the light. And that darkness can deal with some of these pains because this says don't soothe your pain with momentary pleasures. It can deal with some of the things that you might have gone through in your past, in this lifetime, or past lifetimes, or both. This pain can create illusions. That's the shadows. That's the clouds casting the shadows that aren't real. It can create illusions, which could lead you to believe that you're this versus that. Okay. It can lead you to believe that your reality is one thing when it's really not. It's like you can fall into the illusion of that pain. So when you begin to heal the pain and you allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're trying to soothe with those momentary pleasures, that's when you start to see that everything that you believed at one point was really an illusion. It was not real, but it was created through the pain. So clearing that energy out is very important. That's a part of this detoxification, clearing out the mind, the body, the spirit. Okay, so there is this sense of needing to be loyal to that decision, needing to be loyal to the decision to take that road less traveled and to leave behind, some people, places, and things in order to clear your energy. Because it's not just about clearing your mind and your body, it's also about clearing your energy of the wrong types of people, places, and things. That's a part of detoxification as well. And it's a necessary part, especially when you have a divine calling that deals with being a healer or a teacher, which many of you do. So let me pull from a different deck. Okay, see, you have rejoice and celebration. So you will have some things that's worthy of celebrating, but I feel like this card right here is with these people holding up these glasses, it does indicate that for some of you, what needs to be cleared out is maybe a pattern of drinking, okay? Maybe feeling as if the only way to celebrate amongst others, it has to do with momentary pleasures, which could deal with the alcohol. And I did see that with this card because it looks like, like a martini glass right here with the ice or whatever. So it is a strong indicator that a large part of what's blocking you from being able to see what your purpose is in life, it deals with some sort of um, pleasure seeking behavior pattern. So everybody is not going to have the same um, situation, but it is showing up strongly here. So let me clarify, what is rejoice and celebration? Rejoice and celebration is clarified by no thingness. This card is completely blank, all black. That indicates that there is a clearing out that needs to happen, okay? So rejoice and celebration is showing you that some of the friends that you might have found yourself being around and the things that you found yourself doing with these friends, it needs to be detoxified. That's a part of your detoxification process, is releasing the wrong types of people. Because in the Hierophant energy, the Hierophant is, they stand out, okay? They're set aside, they're set apart. The Hierophant is not, they have to conduct themselves differently because of what they've been called to do. And the only way that they can pick up on those divine messages and channel those messages is to make sure that they surround themselves with the right types of people, the right types of energies. And so, as you can see, this Hierophant, or this person here who has this wisdom that's carrying this book, they're walking away from these people that's standing in front of this home, which indicates that you're having to leave behind, again, certain people that could be in your life that's just not in alignment with your purpose or your calling. And so this no thingness card that's all black just indicates that that is a part of what needs to be cleared out. It needs to be detoxified from your system so that you're a purified temple and able to, you want to make sure that the only energies that can inhabit your temple are those of love and light. And so this is where some of you, a part of your clearing out deals with the types of people that you hang with. And it doesn't deal with drinking for everybody, but it is a strong message for some. So let's see. Then you have here, a new career path will be highly successful. Trust the magic of newness. So there is a new path that you're being taken down when it comes to your career. And so I feel like that's why I was saying with this Hierophant coming out first, many of you, your path is guiding you towards being a spiritual teacher or doing something where others seek your wisdom or your advice. And so it's going to be highly successful. And there is a need to trust this path that you're being taken, okay? Because it's going to be very new. It's going to be very, it's more so the unknown, okay? It's not something that you've done before. So let's see. So then you have here, a new romantic cycle begins. This is the Libra, the justice scales. I feel like this largely deals with some sort of balance of the yin, the yang, the masculine, the feminine energy. This could be you coming into union with yourself. So that it takes a lot of work to get to that place of coming into union with yourself, because that means you're no longer seeking outside of yourself in order to find that balance. So seeking outside of yourself can deal with pleasure seeking behavior patterns, being around the wrong types of people just for the sake of, um, fulfilling that desire to just have people in your space, even if you know they're not healthy for you. These are the types of things that will have to be cleared out in order for you to go within to find that balance between your own masculine and feminine. So the justice scales indicate some sort of balance, creating some sort of balance within yourself. Then let's see. Then you have here, look at that. There's nothing outside of you that can fulfill you. Okay. There's nothing outside of you that can fulfill you. So it does take a large part of your journey, indicates coming into that understanding, embracing that, and finding the wisdom in that. There's nothing outside of you that can fulfill you. And so this is why I was just saying, with that balance of the yin and the yang coming into union with yourself, there is nothing outside of you that can fulfill that void, And so soothing your pain with momentary pleasures or being around the wrong types of people, um, it's really a part of the illusion, those clouds casting shadows that aren't real. And what happens is you end up being in a position where you're not being completely authentic to who you are, because you're pretty much allowing yourself to stay in the web of the matrix for the sake of people pleasing, or um, maintaining certain connections that just aren't healthy for your path moving forward. So this is where you're being called to do some strong detoxing, clearing out. Some of you may be called to fast for a specific period of time, because this is preparing you for something greater than what you realize, okay, with this Hierophant card coming out first. So let me pull from this deck here. I want to clarify the Hierophant again for y'all. So what I have coming out is maturity. So the Hierophant deals with you coming into this maturity, even when it comes to your spiritual wisdom is the main thing that you're growing into. But this is also you um, just learning how to heal that inner child and coming into, to embrace who you are growing to become. Less about maintaining that energy of who you used to be, but allowing yourself to mature and grow into who you've been created to be. And so this maturity card is here clarifying the wisdom. It's like, and that makes sense, because maturity clarifying wisdom just shows that that's true maturity. When you take those lessons in life and you apply them, that is wisdom. Learning things or reading things, like this person is holding a book. When you just simply read things to gain knowledge, that's not wisdom. It's just you having a collection of like a library of information in your mind, but if you don't actually apply it, then it's only knowledge. When you take that knowledge and you apply it to change your circumstances, that's when it becomes wisdom. And so this maturity card shows that that's true maturity. That's when you are able to show that you have truly grown, because all of those things that you've learned, you're using them to change your life and to become better, and to also help others to become better. So maturity is here. Then I have letting go. So there is this energy of letting go. What I'm seeing with this card is this drop is falling from this leaf and is going into this body of water. So it's like this energy of no longer are you just that single drop. You're actually allowing yourself to surrender to becoming something greater than yourself, okay? To actually become a part of a greater body, which, for me, I call it Christ consciousness. So becoming a part of the body of the chosen, where we all have divine assignments and we carry out our own individual assignments that's unique to us. And so no longer being that drop, but this drop falls into this body of water to become a part of something greater than itself. So this is letting go, allowing yourself to surrender, and just taking that leap of faith towards this new beginning. So let's see. Then we have here, you're stepping into a brand new chapter. Okay. I mean, the message couldn't get any more clear. You're stepping into a brand new chapter. So you're releasing, you're maturing, you're moving towards this newfound wisdom. And this is going to open up a new chapter in your life. So the old chapter closes out. Okay. You allow yourself the opportunity to be free of all of those things that no longer serves you. That's a gift to yourself. That's an act of self-love. And so when you do this, you close out that old chapter and you say, okay, I'm ready to step into a new beginning. I'm ready to start something new. I'm ready to step out of the illusion of inclusion and to become my own, You become your own person. You step into your organic nature, no longer trying to be something that you're not. So you're removing that mask, that representative that allowed you to fit in with certain people, or to walk in a certain belief system, or to have certain patterns and habits. All of that was a part of those clouds casting shadows. Now you're starting to, once you move into that place of detoxification with this card of no thingness, you clear out your temple, and now you're going to begin to gain those messages of who you are and what you're here to do. So this will be a brand new chapter. So you have here, be careful who you take advice from. So keep that in mind, because the Hierophant is literally walking away from people of the past, and they're being loyal to this newfound wisdom. So you be careful who you take advice from, especially, you know, if you had a certain circle of people that you always sought advice from in the past, you might find that they too um, were very much so caught up in the illusion. And so a lot of the advice that they may have given you was, it kept you stuck, or it led you away from your purpose, further away from your purpose. And so this is where you want to release those people, so that you can make sure that whatever knowledge you're taking in is in alignment with your assignment. Okay, because not everybody is going to understand where you're headed. They're not supposed to, especially those people who have not grown, and they're not authentic to who they are. They haven't done the work. And so the advice that you receive from them is likely going to guide you in the wrong direction. You're here as the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is the one that's actually giving others sound advice and wisdom. you know and of course, not saying that, when you become a spiritual teacher or a leader, that you can't take advice, because the teacher is always the student. But you have to make sure that it's not coming from a place of people who are still broken, or people who are still in their carnal nature, that haven't done any work to clear out their own energy, because the messages that they receive is going to be very much so it's going to be full of toxicity, or it's going to be based off of pain and fear. That's the type of advice that you'll receive from someone who hasn't done the work. Whatever advice they give you is going to be based off of their own fears. And so that's where you want to be careful who you get advice from when you're being called to take this road less traveled. So let's see. Then you have standstill. So right now things might be postponed. This is that energy of you know, things are just kind of suspended in the air, where you're being called to be still. And this is a part of the healing journey, because in the past, you might have found yourself just constantly moving, constantly trying to find something to uh, keep yourself busy, or that avoidant behavior pattern where being too still might have caused, it may not have been comfortable for you. But at this point in your journey, you're being called to be still. So you have stand still. And this is like, I think this bird is like a stork, or a heron. I'm not sure what's the name of this bird, but these birds, they travel alone, first of all. And on top of that, they recognize that being still is important for, them to catch their next meal. So that's just a part of what they do. That's their energy. They, standing still is a part of them being patient until they receive whatever they are meant to receive, which would be probably whatever they're looking for, that fish or whatever they're looking for in this water. So this is that time of standing still. You're not supposed to be doing too much. This allows you to focus on yourself, to go within. Look at that. The bottom of the deck, it says spend more time on your spiritual growth. And there's a butterfly here. So that's why the standstill is necessary, because in order to become this butterfly, you have to go into the cocoon, and you can't take nobody with you in the cocoon. It can feel lonely, but that's a part of the process where you outgrow feeling like you're alone in this journey. You start to connect with the Most High. You start to have that divine connection to your spiritual team that the Most High has created for you to be able to take this journey with. So the butterfly is here. It's all about transformation time. So that's why you have standstill here. There's an energy of being still so that you can transform. Transformation means death and rebirth. So that means things have to be put to rest in order for this new beginning to happen. So if you feel like things are moving slow, or you don't really know what the answers is, you feel like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing right now? It's going to come. Okay, those answers will come, because it says it's okay not to have all the answers. They will come when you need them. So being patient with yourself and patient with your own transformation is the most important part of this, but not just being still, but being still and allowing yourself to detoxify so that you can get those answers. Because if you're clouding your mind, if you're soothing your pain with momentary pleasures, if you're surrounding yourself with the wrong types of people, places, and things, or you're having a lot of toxic thoughts and negativity, then that's that energy of still trying to fulfill yourself with things that are outside of you. And that's just going to take you further back. So you're moving towards a brand new beginning. Okay. Bottom of the deck says going with the flow. So there is this energy of staying in the now, in the present moment. Okay, look at that. Right behind it, it says moment to moment. Staying in the now, staying in the present moment is what's going to allow you to stay balanced. So I do say, I always tell people, if you're going to time travel into the past, make sure that whatever memories you go and revisit, they feel good. And if they don't feel good, then you want to do something about it using your spiritual work to clear that energy out. So if you find yourself going back into the past, because that's going to happen with this mind card, because it does show that there's a lot of overthinking, maybe even thoughts that are not the healthiest. Don't just don't just think those thoughts or feel those emotions. You want to do something to clear it out. That's why I always tell you all, writing things down and burning them is a very powerful way to clear your energy in the spiritual realm, because the writing on the paper with the words have energy. Putting it on paper brings it into the physical. Okay, that brings the thoughts into the physical plane by putting it on paper. Burning it with the element of fire is what allows you to clear it. So that's the element of, fire brings destruction. So that's symbolic of what you are creating in the spiritual realm, or what you are destroying in the spiritual realm. So that's why writing, burning, and releasing is so powerful. So when you have these thoughts and you find yourself overthinking, and it's taking you back into the past with those painful memories, you don't want to just feel them. Do something about it by clearing it out. Because with this card that says don't soothe your pain with momentary pleasures, for some of you, you end up having these negative thoughts. And then in order to avoid feeling or thinking about these things, you go and numb yourself out in some way, shape, or form. This is where you're being called to no longer do that, because the journey, the path that you're being guided to take, you can't have that type of energy. You have to know how to heal yourself, know how to be the practitioner to yourself before you can start teaching and guiding others. That is mandatory when it comes to being a spiritual teacher, a healer, a leader, whatever it is you're being called to do. So staying in the now is the best place to be. When you look at that, the message is very clear. This says clinging to the past. And with this person, there's a wine glass behind them, and they have this big box on top of their head. So it's like you can't even see where you're going if you are stuck in the past. This box that's on their head, it keeps you in a box perspective. It keeps you in this boxed in perspective. It's a part of that illusion, those clouds casting shadows. And so when you're stuck in the past, it's like you're recreating that energy over and over again the more that you go back and revisit that energy. But even worse than that, with this wine glass in the background, it just shows that if you allow yourself to get caught up in momentary pleasures, things that only soothes your only soothes your pain for a very temporary time, this is what keeps you from seeing the truth and being able to expand in your knowledge and your wisdom, because this box over their head, it boxes in your perspective. And so it limits your possibilities, okay? It limits where you can go when it comes to the spiritual journey, and when it comes to this new beginning. And so there is, for a lot of you, a need to clear out that pattern, or any pattern that is like a pleasure seeking behavior pattern, or a codependency, or something that you do habitually in order to create some form of pleasure outside of yourself. So moment to moment, get back into the now. Whenever you feel like you're off balance and you don't know where this journey is taking you, get back into the present moment, because in the present moment, that's how you're able to find that gratitude, just being in a space of gratitude in the now. So that's important. So I already spoke about going into the past. If you're traveling into the past, making sure that the memories feel good. And if they do not, doing what's necessary to clear that energy out, not just sitting in it or numbing yourself out from feeling it. Clear the energy. And if you're going to time travel into the future and you're thinking about where things are headed, make sure that it's in alignment with your vision, because that's how you create, that's how you manifest. When you see it in your mind's eye, after you focus on it for a specific period of time, and you're actually doing the work to become in alignment with the vibration of what it is that you're wanting to attract or create, then you'll be able to manifest it into the physical. So if you're thinking about the future, if you're having negative thoughts about where things may be going, then you're also creating that energy. So this is where, if you find that neither one of those directions, the past or the future, is really allowing you to be balanced, then get back into the present moment. That's what's going to allow you to maintain your balance as you take this journey. So let me see. I'm going to pull a couple more cards before I close out. You have here, you will have financial security in life. So if there's a worry that you have in regards to your security, you will have financial security. Okay, this path is leading you towards that. But it's very important that you recognize that you have to match the vibrational energy in order to maintain it. So you can very well attract it, but if you have not cleaned up your temple and become in alignment with what you want to create, like that longevity, then it will be very temporary. So this is where work needs to be done in order to attract that financial security or that abundance and maintain it for a lifetime. Okay. So then bottom of the deck says good luck sometimes comes disguised as bad luck. So you might have been going through a lot of things here. Look at that. Right behind that, it says, see the good in what you call bad. Nothing in your suffering is meaningless. Okay. So good luck sometimes comes disguised as bad luck, meaning whatever it is you've been going through, that's a part of the clouds casting shadows. You thinking that life is, giving you all of these, painful memories, painful situations. But whatever it is, whatever changes that you've been going through, it was all to lead you towards your divine path. And so it might have felt like it was bad luck. It might have felt like everything that was happening around you was working against you, but it was actually working in your highest good to propel you towards your destiny and your purpose. And so this is where you want to see it from a higher perspective. Once you start looking at things through your spiritual eyes, then you don't take it so personally anymore. You start to realize that this is a part of your journey. You're being propelled, you're being pushed into a different direction, because that direction is going to lead you towards your purpose and abundance. So then you have see the good in what you call bad. Nothing in your suffering is meaningless. Um, this is where, again, you want to see things from a higher perspective rather than seeing it as being a bad thing that you've gone through all of these changes. You want to see the good. There's always good in every situation. You just have to be willing to see it from that perspective. A lot of times we have things going on and we only focus on the negative part of things. And so that's where you're not able to raise your own vibration to match the energy of what it is that you desire to create in replacement of whatever it is you're experiencing, because you end up so focused on what seems to be the negatives. So we all have free will. There's free will. You can either focus in on the bad in the situation, or you can find good in it and create a better outcome for yourself. So nothing in your suffering was meaningless. So the sacrifices that you've been making have been very necessary sacrifices. And you're going to find that you get rewarded as long as you get your energy in alignment with where you're being guided to go. So then this one says, it will all make sense to you soon. So that's another card that's showing you that you will gain that clarity. The answers you need will come to you when you need them. It's going to make sense. Right now, it might seem cloudy because you still got a lot of clearing out, detoxing, clearing out, and purging to do in order to get those clear messages. You have be willing to let go of everything you once thought to be true. So that's another part of the spiritual journey, like being able to see things from a different perspective, leaving behind the illusions, because that card that says be careful who you take advice from, that's another part of letting go of all that you thought to be true. You might have really trusted the insight or um, the advice of others. If you was talking to certain people for a certain period of time in your life, you might have trusted their guidance. But once you start to see it from a higher perspective, you realize that again, their guidance came from a space of their own fears. It came from a person who was not completely in their own authenticity. And so they couldn't really advise you on how to become your most organic version or how to move towards your divine path when many of the people that you had to walk away from, they haven't even taken the path. They haven't even begun to take the journey, because that entails transformation, and transformation entails being in that energy of solitude for an extended period of time in order to grow. Okay. And so a lot of most people avoid that part of the journey, and that's why they never end up stepping into their purpose. And it'll be many lifetimes before they get there. But there's a few, especially of the chosen, who they get pushed into that cocoon, because what you have to bring to the world is necessary at this time, especially in the age of Aquarius. And so if you find that you got pushed out of a situation and you're wondering, well, why am I going through all of these changes? It's because your calling is something that it's like you have to fulfill it in this lifetime. I mean, obviously you have the free will to reject it, but life is going to continue to create you'll have a lot of chaotic moments and a lot of things that'll set you backwards until you recognize what you're being pushed into a different direction to do. So a lot of those people that you sought advice from in the past, they rejected their calling. And if you really take a look at those people that you was taking advice from, you might notice a pattern, them being on a karmic cycle of the same types of situations over and over again. And so that's a part of the illusion that they've allowed themselves to get swept up in, that is what life is all about. It's all about chaotic energy and painful changes and things of that nature. That's them rejecting, that's them pushing against their purpose or their calling. And so there's consequences for that. And so they end up giving others advice from a place of fear and from a space of illusion. So last card that I'm going to pull here. Ooh, that was okay. I got 4 cards that came out, and I'm going to close out here. So I have here, choose wisely. Choose wisely. So this is that time of, okay, you have decisions in front of you. There's ways, there's directions that you can go, because again, free will does exist, but it says choose wisely. Remembering that the first card that you had coming out was wisdom. So you want to make sure that whatever choices you make is going to be in alignment with your growth, because if you don't choose wisely, it can lead you down a destructive path all over again, to where you have to start from the beginning and try to work your way through those obstacles. So choose wisely. Then you have communication is key. So there is this energy of needing to open up your throat chakra. So you may want to do some work on your throat chakra here, because a large part of, I feel like, your calling deals with communication. So you can clear out your throat chakra by listening to frequencies for the throat chakra. You can also singing, humming, doing affirmations, speaking your truth is also a way of opening up your throat chakra. Writing, burning, and releasing. I destroy and release all fear of openly speaking my truth, um, or all fear of judgment by others if I do speak my truth in spirit and in flesh. You can burn that. You can also get you a blue candle. Write on that blue candle, I openly, transparently, and courageously speak my truth in spirit and flesh, and let that candle burn through. And then you have here shine, that's the sun card, and then victory and success. So getting prepared for victory and success, you will be triumphant as long as you choose the right path, because the number 7 is on this card. So 7 deals with spirituality. As long as you choose the right path that allows you to stay in alignment spiritually, you will have victory and success. Because this person is standing at the edge of this cliff blowing this trumpet. It's like, letting the world know that they have made it, and so it takes a lot. This person had to go through a long journey in order to get here, but it'll be well worth it in the end. Okay, you'll find that you will have victory and success as long as you take the right path, which usually is the road less traveled. um Look at that. Okay, bottom of the deck, I have intuition. That deals with your spiritual insight. Okay, so many of you are high priestess or high priest. So you possess a lot of spiritual wisdom. It's just a matter of unlocking it and tapping into it. Once you clear up your energy, you'll find that those spiritual gifts that you have will become more heightened, and you'll be prepared to use them to guide yourself down your journey as well as to guide others. So that's the message that I have for you all. I love you. If you want a private reading from me, you can email me. To order my cards, you can email me. And for tarot, learning how to read tarot, that's also through my email and my hair or body oils. Everything is email. snita52415 at gmail.com. I'll talk to you all next time.